Creating a financially secure existence might appear to be a demanding undertaking that needs the expertise of a professional mapmaker and GPS programmer. You must choose where you are now and where you want to go. And if that wasn't enough, you're now in charge of determining the best path from here to there, without taking any unnecessary diversions. Some objectives will take years, if not decades, to achieve. That was part of the idea all along. But there's an instant payoff. You'll feel a lot less stressed the moment you start taking control of all the money issues that have been bothering you. Don't fret, because in today's video, we will be talking about Personal Finance 101. Let's get into it. What is compound interest? When you earn compound interest on a balance in savings or investment account, the interest you earn on the balance is reinvested, giving you even more interest. Money makes money, and the money that money makes money. Compound interest helps your savings and investments grow faster over time. On the other hand, it increases the amount of debt you owe over time. You don't only earn interest on your principal balance when you use compound interest. Even your interest is compounded. When you apply earned interest to your main amount, you'll earn even more interest, compounding your profits. Assume you have $1,000 in a savings account with a 5% yearly interest rate. You'd earn $50 in the first year, giving you a fresh balance of $1,050. You would receive 5% on the bigger sum of $1,050, or $52.50 in year 2, giving you a new balance of $1,102.50 at the end of the year. The increase of your savings account balance would accelerate over time as you earned interest on greater and higher amounts. Thanks to the miracle of compounding interest, you'd end up with a balance of $4,321.94 if you left $1,000 in this hypothetical savings account for 30 years, collecting a 5% annual interest rate the entire time and never adding another cent to the account. At different time periods, interest can be compounded, that is, added back into the principal. Interest, for example, can be compounded annually, monthly, daily, or even indefinitely. The faster your principal rises, the more often interest is compounded. Continuing with the previous example, if you started with a $1,000 savings account balance and received interest daily instead of annually, you'd wind up with a total of $4,481.23 after 30 years. If interest was compounded more often, you would have earned an extra $160. Inflation. When there is too much money in the economy, inflation can develop, resulting in an increase in the cost of commodities. Inflation is frequently referred to as the worst tax, since most people are unaware of its consequences. To protect your hard-earned income from inflation, there are actually 3 investment approaches to consider in order to do so. Invest in stocks. Despite the general lack of trust in stocks, holding some can be a very effective strategy to prevent inflation. Consider your home as a business. If a firm is unable to effectively invest its funds in initiatives that generate a profit beyond its costs, it will succumb to inflation. The underlying assumption of business success is that the businesses would sell their products at a higher price, resulting in higher revenues, earnings, and eventually stock prices. Invest in a home. Real estate is usually a wonderful investment when done for the correct reasons, such as buying a home to live in. When a buyer's objective is to profit from the property they just purchased, problems arise. Although expert real estate investors might uncover hidden assets in homes, the ordinary individual should buy a property with the intention of staying in it for at least a few years. Real estate investments seldom provide a profit in a matter of months or weeks. Instead, they need a lengthy period of time for prices to rise. Home prices, like land prices, tend to rise in value on an annual basis. True, real estate booms are generally followed by corrections, which can result in properties losing more than half their value. Nonetheless, home prices tend to rise over time, counteracting inflationary impacts. Invest in yourself. Investing in yourself is by far the greatest way to prepare for an unpredictable financial future, one that will help you make more money in the future. This investment starts with a good education and continues with skill maintenance and acquiring new skills that will be needed in the not-too-distant future. Staying on top of your company's evolving demands may help you not just inflation-proof your pay, but also recession-proof your career. How to save. Set short-term and long-term goals. Building financial stability is a never-ending balancing act. Some of the money balls you have in the air will be targets you want to achieve as soon as possible. Other goals may have an end date that is a decade or more away, but they must be started sooner rather than later. A good initial step is to make a master list of all your objectives. It's usually simpler to plan a course of action when you know exactly what you want to accomplish. It's entirely up to you whether you keep track of your short and long-term objectives in a spreadsheet or on paper. Just make sure you allow yourself some alone time to consider it. Here's a simple prompt. What would make you happy financially? At its core, a financial plan provides the resources to make you feel safe and secure, allowing you to focus on living rather than worrying. Possibilities to consider. Short-term objectives for the coming year or so. Create an emergency fund of at least 3 months' worth of living costs. Limit new credit card expenditures to what you can afford to pay off in whole each month. Create and stick to a budget. Pay off any outstanding credit card debt. For the longer-term objectives, start putting aside at least 10% of your annual gross earnings for retirement. Put money aside for a down payment on a property. In a tax-advantaged 529 plan, you may save for your child's or grandchild's education. Create a budget. A budget is a line-by-line accounting of all your income, a salary, perhaps a side job, possibly investment money, and all of your spending. The entire point of a budget is to set everything out in front of you so you can see where everything is going and make adjustments if you aren't on track to accomplish your objectives. Running your present cash flow through the standard 50-30-20 budgeting framework is one method to examine it. The aim of this strategy is to spend 50% of your after-tax income on necessities and 30% on additional necessities like phone and streaming subscriptions, or likes-to-haves like dining out. The remaining 20% is set aside for savings, accumulating emergency finances, putting aside money for retirement, and putting money aside for a down payment on a house or a new automobile. Another approach is the 60% solution, which divides spending and saving objectives in a slightly different way, but with the same purpose of ensuring you don't neglect long-term goals. If your own pie charts appear drastically different from either method, it's time to think about how you might reduce your expenditure or improve your revenue. Hello, side hustle. Alternatively, you may already be pushing for that promotion or increase. This will put you on a strong road to achieving your short and long-term objectives. To help you build a budget and measure your progress, there are a lot of budgeting applications that can be linked to bank accounts to help you keep track of your spending in real time. Save for retirement. Even if you have decades until retirement, now is the best time to start saving. The longer you wait to start serious about this huge objective, the more you'll have to put in to ensure a comfortable retirement. There is no single rule for how much you should save for retirement, but a good rule of thumb is to set aside a multiple of your pay of various ages. Having 2 times your salary in your retirement account by the age of 35 puts you up for success. By the time you're 50, you should have 6 times your annual income saved up. You gain an upfront tax benefit with 401k and 403b accounts. Traditional IRA accounts may also qualify for this tax benefit. Borrow smart. Taking out a loan for bigger purchases is common. The home you wish to purchase, the cars you drive, helping your children pay for college. The secret to financial stability is to borrow just what you actually need. No one is going to look you in the eyes and tell you to cut back on your borrowing. Lenders have no idea and have no interest in how the loan they're dangling in front of you affects your capacity to achieve all of your other objectives. That's on you. To achieve your aim, your goal should be always to borrow as little as possible. You'll have more money for the other things if you borrow less. That's all for today's video. I hope you've learned a little something on how you can be your own financial manager. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.